Hi, it's Charlie Bengel with Remax Allegiance. Welcome to another edition of Meet an Agent. My special guest today is Rob Bergman from our Capitol Hill office. Rob, it's great to see you.
Thank you for being here.
Welcome, Rob. You've got your GRI, your Remax Hall of Fame, Lifetime Achievement Award winner, and you've been in business for 30 years. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Take me back 30 years.
Well, it was a long road in the beginning.
Yes. You got into real estate because?
I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to establish myself in the neighborhood. I knew a lot of people from working in local establishments.
This is in Capitol Hill?
On Capitol Hill.
Okay.
My wife was born and raised there, so it was a natural place to start out. And since I had connections both in the construction world, I started a small construction company.
Okay.
I was taking some courses in architecture and mathematics, and I took a course in with the National Trust for historic preservation, being certified with that, and then I realized, you know what, I love real estate, and I think selling it would be a lot of fun. Since I've restored a few, I figured I'd
And you like talking to people?
Love talking with people.
Yeah.
But best of all, I like educating them, if they allow me, on the way how a home is put together.
Good.
You know, a lot of them obviously don't understand home inspection.
Sure.
And it's good to have the knowledge to hold their hands through a bad experience with a home inspector. Some aren't very tactful.
Right.
However,
So 30 years later, today it's still for you being able to help handhold, educate somebody in what's their biggest purchase or sale of their life, right? Is that still why you enjoy it most 30 years later?
It is indeed. And getting to know the people initially, you know, when they're just starting out their families and watching their families grow to a point where then they're ready to move on. I've sold houses to kids of people I sold houses to.
That's always great, isn't it?
It is.
Multiple generations.
I've sold several houses to a family that has referred me to many people, and I've sold her daughter houses. We used to babysit these young ladies, and now I'm selling them houses. That's
so cool. We've got an agent who sold the same house 3 times, and he's got himself a picture of himself in front of the house all 3 times.
Oh, I should have done that. I sold the house 3 times.
Yeah, you should have done that. Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, actually 4 if you count the first time selling.
Right. Okay.
And it was a quirky house, no back door, on 8th Street. It was
interesting.
2 over 2 with an English basement apartment. And I think each time the buyer realized that I was the man that knew that house.
Right.
Because it was quirky.
That's cool. Okay.
It was
so
a good role.
You've been in this area an awfully long time. What do you love most about it?
Well, I moved here in '80 with the Marine Corps, and at the time, I had just left Minneapolis, left the university, and decided that the Marine Corps was a good way to get me on the straight and narrow.
Okay. All right.
And I met my wife in '82. And soon they realized I was having too much fun, so I was sent overseas.
Oh,
and
yeah.
And then when I got back, everything seemed to be where I needed it to be. And it was just a natural thing.
So you stayed in this area because why?
I stayed in the area because I've learned to love it, first of all.
Okay.
Once, you know, my wife helped a lot to really meet
being a native.
Right. And I really realized what the city had to offer. And even in its times of agony, it was always a wonderful city.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So is Capitol Hill your favorite neighborhood?
Capitol Hill is my favorite neighborhood. For most part, yes. I've spent most of my time there. You know, I moved there in '80, and most of my business was driven on Capitol Hill. Back in the day when you wouldn't see a Virginia or Maryland agent coming down to the hill, I had free reign.
Right.
Every agent on the hill knew one another.
Right.
So it was very nice to work with.
Everybody was a neighborhood specialist, right?
Yeah.
So to speak.
Exactly.
Yeah. Talk to me about some hobbies. What will people find you doing when you're not selling real estate?
I love spending time with my family. And sometimes that gets a
New granddaughter,
especially.
Yes, congratulations.
So I get her a couple days a week. And so you can find me walking her in the park.
That's cool.
Love playing golf. Don't get much time doing that. But art is one of my favorite hobbies.
Okay.
I have several friends that are artists.
That's neat.
One, I just sold her house and she moved to Philly.
Okay.
So I'll be visiting her. But any type of artwork is interesting to me. And when I have time, I like to make pieces of my own.
Oh, all right.
And
so that's cool. So where will people find you hanging out besides golf courses and art galleries?
Well, at my office on Capitol Hill, I spent a lot of time there. And I don't know. When I had time to play golf, you could find me out there. But I'd meet a lot of neighbors working in my front garden.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you like to garden.
When I was on the hill fully, I knew all my neighbors.
Yeah. Just from hanging out front.
Just from hanging out front. Most of them thought I was nuts and digging holes, but it was something the Marine Corps taught me, and I continued with it.
That's cool. Okay.
I'm really good at it.
So location that you specialize in, Capitol Hill. Other areas that you would say you're a specialist? Most of the city, I imagine. You've been around for 30 years in the city.
I've been lucky enough to sell at least one house in every neighborhood in the city.
That's cool. Okay.
So I've grown fond of many areas of the city. I lived in Crestwood for quite some time. And that actually helped me discover neighborhoods outside the city where there's so much opportunity right now. And it's a half hour from pretty much any part of Washington, including the Hill, Northwest. And there's a lot of opportunity out there for my buyers that are kind of priced out of Capitol Hill or DC in general.
There's always an up-and-coming neighborhood, isn't there?
There is.
Yeah.
And getting in early has opened my eyes up to a lot of opportunity.
Oh, yeah. There's probably no better way to build wealth than real estate. Would you agree?
Definitely agree. I mean, it's hard to make a mistake.
Yes.
As long as you buy and hold.
Well, buy and hold. You're not going to make a mistake. I agree. No, I'm with you. What do you do to market a home? Let's talk sellers for a minute.
Well, I have a pretty comprehensive marketing plan that I've been putting together for quite some time. A lot of it I've used since I started. And but mostly my biggest, I think, success is networking with other agents who have buyers in the area. You know who you're getting, you know how the deal's going to go. So I market to agents. I, of course, like everybody, the internet.
Sure.
I'm pretty much all over the internet. And I've kind of moved away from print advertising because of the cost and moved towards postcards. Okay. And I'm too old to do door knocking. I think 3 or 4 sets of stairs would do me in for the day.
Okay.
But yeah, I think marketing is completely different from when I started.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Just all the digital marketing that didn't exist then.
The digital marketing didn't exist, and the competitiveness also. I mean, there's quite a few more agents. Yes. And it also affects keeping in touch with your past clients. Oh, yeah. And that's one thing I've learned recently, once again reintroduced to. Keeping in touch is huge. Yes. It's huge. Especially now that there's a realtor on every block. Right. In every neighborhood, and you know your clients get to know them, and they feel obligated to use them. Yes, oh, it's challenging. I get it. What are some other reasons why I want to use you as either my buyer's agent or my listing agent? Well, my experience in the changing market from the 90s to today, you know, I learned a lot about working my way through problems. When we used to write our own contracts, essentially, a 2-page contract, and everybody hand wrote their own addendum, and then we were bailed out by the board, which helped a lot. Kept a lot of people out of trouble.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, fantastic. This has been another edition of Meet an Agent. I'm Charlie Bengel, and my special guest today was Rob Bergman. Rob, it's been great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.